Today's topic is about Gifted and Talented program. A few of you have approached me to learn and understand about giftedness. That's why I teamed up with Dini Gauntlet, who is the parent advocate for Gifted and Talented at the Downingtown School District in PA, where I live. Don't worry, the concepts that you're going to learn can be applied to any school district around the United States. So, want to learn more? Let's get started. Hey everybody, my name is Jyotsna and my students like to call me Coach Joe. My passion is to help teens and kids reach their maximum potential. Today's topic is about Gifted and Talented program. A few of you have approached me to learn and understand about giftedness. That's why I teamed up with Dini Gauntlet, who is the parent advocate for Gifted and Talented at the Downingtown School District in PA, where I live. Don't worry, the concepts that you're going to learn can be applied to any school district around the United States. So, want to learn more? Let's get started. First, let's get into the definition of giftedness. In layman's terms, this means a gifted child has abilities quite above the norm. However, gifted children can be extremely difficult to determine because they're all so different. Gifted children come from different demographic groups, have different personalities, learn different from each other. Sometimes they can also have a learning disability or have different strengths and limitations. One thing to keep in mind is giftedness does not mean they're going to excel in school or be good at everything they do. They will succeed in life no matter what. Second, how do you know if your child is considered gifted? The criteria for testing a child for giftedness is determined at the state and the local level. Because the federal law mandates that schools offer special programs for gifted students, school districts use a process to screen students to decide who gets into the program. While there's no correct way to decide who is more gifted than usual, most screening processes begin with referrals by parents and teachers. They'll often use an IQ test to measure some of the skills used in the school classrooms. If a child scores very well, unusually well, then the child can be sort of an unusual learner who needs something other than what's offered in the normal classroom. Other parts of the screening process includes surveys and aptitude tests. After the testing process is over, the parents usually get notified formally as well. They are notified of the acceptance or non-acceptance. The child can become part of the gifted program at the beginning of the next school year, or they will remain to be eligible to be in the program even if the child changes the schools. This sort of happened with my son as well. We moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, but since there was a state change, he had to get tested all over again in Pennsylvania. Okay, so coming back, what is so special about the Gifted and Talented program? The Gifted and Talented program offers a different type of learning than what is offered in a traditional classroom. Students are allowed into the gifted program. They typically learn from different teachers who are sort of qualified to teach gifted students. The students sometimes are put in a peer group that is at their advanced academic level. The students will also have access to more resources than they would in an average classroom. The program helps gifted students reach and achieve their personal best. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, the fourth, what can be expected in a gifted and talented program? This is a tricky question because there is no set guidelines in place concerning how the gifted and talented program works. This is because the gifted students are so different and the resources available to different school districts also differ. Therefore, the GT programs around the country will offer different services. Some programs keep children in the regular classroom but offer special accommodations. Or some gifted children will go to a special classroom that's part of the day and a regular classroom for the rest of the day. This is called the pull-out system, right? Other programs will offer gifted students their own full-time classes and teachers. This is in a very rare case. Some progressive schools help gifted children reach their maximum potential by advancing them or upgrading them to a higher class or accelerating their education. Fifth, what is the official definition of gifted and talented? Children with abilities significantly above the norm in some areas are considered gifted according to the National Association of Gifted Children, NAGC. Many people associate academic ability in math or science with giftedness, but the NAGC makes it clear that gifted and talented children may perform above the norm in creative, artistic, intellectual, or even leadership domains, or specific academic subjects such as math, science, or language arts. If your child is gifted and talented, it means that they have academic or creative abilities that are above the normal level. Okay. Frequently, states and school districts assess children who are in the top 10% of various academic or intellectual assessments to be gifted and talented. Sixth, how do schools go about identifying gifted children? The term gifted assessments is typically applied to a process of using norm-referenced psychometric tests typically administered by a qualified psychologist or a psychometrist with the goal of identifying children whose intellectual functioning is significantly advanced as compared to the appropriate reference group, that is, individuals of their age, gender, and country. The cutoff score for differentiating this group is usually determined by district school boards and can differ slightly from area to area. However, the majority defines this group as students scoring in the top 2 percentiles on one of the accepted tests for intellectual cognitive functioning, or IQ. Some school boards also require a child to demonstrate advanced standing on individualized achievement tests or through their classroom performance. Identifying gifted children is often difficult, but is very important because normal or typical school teachers are not geared or equipped to educate a gifted child. This can sometimes lead to a situation where a gifted child is bored underachieves or sometimes misbehaves in class, which is quite rare. Individual IQ testing is usually the optimal method to identify giftedness among children. However, it sometimes does not distinguish well among those found to be gifted. Therefore, examiners prefer using a variety of tests to first identify giftedness and then further differentiate. This is often done by using individual IQ tests and then group or individual assessment tests. There is no standard consensus on which tests to use, or each test is better suited for a certain role. The seventh question: what are the tests available for assessment? The two most popular tests for identifying giftedness in school-age population are the WISE-4 and the SB5. The WIAT, which is WI-83, is considered the most popular academic achievement test to determine a child's aggregated learned knowledge. Although a newer WISE, which is WISC version, the WISE-5, was developed in the late 2014, the WISE-4 is still the most commonplace test. It has also been translated into several languages like Spanish, Portuguese, Norwegian, Swedish, Chinese, Korean, and Italian. The list goes on and on. The WISE-4 assesses a child's cognitive abilities with respect to their age group. Coupled with the results from other tests, the WISE test accurately depicts a child's developmental and psychological needs for the future. The SB5 is an intelligence test that determines cognitive abilities and can be administered to persons in virtually any age group. It assesses a series of intelligence indicators, including fluid reasoning, general knowledge, quantitative reasoning, spatial processing, and working memory. The SB5 makes use of both verbal reasoning as well. Versions of these tests exist for each age group. However, it's recommended to begin the assessment as early as possible, with approximately 8 years of age being the optimal time to test. Testing allows for identification of specific needs of students and help to plan an education early. So I hope you go over this online course that I have created with Dee. She is the parent advocate and sort of a resident expert in the Gifted and Talented program. Let me know how this goes, and don't forget to click the subscribe button. See you later.